in a world covered by endless water. People are forced to eke out a living on the small patches of land that remain above the sea. The people of this world rely on ancient technology driven by quantum refractors, a powerful energy source. These refractors lie in ancient ruins underground and in the sea, and are sought out by explorers called diggers. These brave explorers are the sole source of refractor energy, which has become a cornerstone of the emerging civilizations. Originally, this was the diggers' only purpose, to find refractors so that civilization might endure. However, over the years, the story of a fabulous treasure, the legendary Mother Lode, began to be whispered among the diggers. The Mother Lode, a treasure so great that if it were discovered, it would provide so much power that the world never need fear running out of energy. Seeking this Mother Lode, diggers travel from one island to another in their flying machines, ever hoping that they'll find what they seek just over the horizon. Hope. Despair. Charity. Greed. Duty. Power. Who can say what truly motivates the diggers?
Aloha, everybody. It is I, the Great Clement, and ladies and gentlemen, it is finally happening. I think I teased I was going to do this series back in 2012, and I know this has been long requested ever since I started doing Mega Man in general, but finally, ladies and gentlemen, I am tackling the Mega Man Legends series. I'm going to be doing the first game, and then the Misadventures of Tron-Bon, and then the sequel game, Mega Man Legends 2, and this is going to be the year of Legends. 2015, I am going through all three of these games, and it shall be fantastic. This is a big cult favorite. It's one of the more popular Mega Man series, even though it's only been on the PlayStation 1, really. Aside from, like, PSP remakes in Japan and, like, golf games. Yeah, there's a Mega Man Legends Golf for, like, Japan. Rockman Dash Golf. I don't know why, but, oh, those cute little guys we're looking at right now, those are Servbots. Anyway, let's get into it.
Mega Man? Mega Man! Mega Man! Can you hear me?
Just barely. The transmission isn't too clear.
I got worried because the transmission got cut off suddenly.
I'm okay. I think this is the last door. Roll! It's still active! The reactor's still running!
Great! What about the refractor?
It's here! It's a big one, too!
All right, now maybe we can finally get some money. Be careful.
Phew.
Don't count your chickens yet. I'm picking something up on my screen. Looks like a Reaver bot. You'd better get out of there. Come on.
Right. If you see anything, let me know. Here we go!
Alrighty, folks, so now we're getting into the thick of it. This is a 3D Mega Man series. This is not a 2D platformer like a lot of them has been. You know, whether it was the Classic Series, X Series, Zero Series, ZX Series. This came out actually before Battle Network, before Zero, before ZX. This came out in '97 on the PlayStation, when analog control was not a thing. And so, by today's standards, Mega Man Legends is actually a little bit clunky and a little bit awkward to control. I actually had to change the settings before I actually went into the gameplay, because how it is originally when the game boots up is, in order to turn left or right and face a different direction, you would have to push L1 or R1, and moving left or right on the control pad would make Mega Man strafe. And it was really awkward trying to get where you needed to go when you had to keep pushing the R1 buttons in order to change a certain direction, you know? So I changed the controls and the options to having the directional buttons change my direction. So if I push left on the control pad, then I face left. And L1 and R1 are used for strafing. And strafing is a very important part of combat in Mega Man Legends because a lot of the boss strategies you'll have to dodge out of the way of things, you know? You have to go to the right of them or to the left of them, try and get behind them. And strafing is ideal for that kind of thing since it's got the tank controls, you know? It's got the stiff Resident Evil type tank controls, which makes that a little bit hard to get around a guy really quickly because you can't wait and pause to turn and then move in a certain direction and then wait and pause and turn in order to face the next direction in order to get behind a guy, you know? Strafing is kind of ideal for Mega Man Legends. So, again, you can change those controls in that way. You can make it so you move left or right with either the control pad or the L1, R1 buttons. I prefer the control pad. I think that's way more comfortable. In general, though, this isn't the most ideal control scheme. It was 1997. This is early PlayStation. And there's no analog control support at all. Even if you try turning it on an analog controller, it just won't activate. So it might be a little awkward for some. But yeah, we do have Mega Man here. And he does handle like a lot of Mega Man in the series do, you know? He's a guy in blue, he has a Mega Buster, he shoots lots of pellets to destroy these machines known as Reaver Bots, and there is a lock-on feature with this game as well, where if you hold the R2 button, Mega Man will automatically lock on to whatever is around him. Not necessarily in front of him. If something is behind him, Mega Man will actually do a complete 180 to lock onto that thing. The only problem with the lock-on is that it doesn't really let you do manual aiming, you know? Like, if you hold R2 and then move the control pad, you can manually look wherever you want, and you can manually shoot wherever you want. But as soon as an enemy comes in that vicinity, all of a sudden the manual aiming immediately reverts to, like, lock-on. And then you have to absolutely lock on to whatever's close to you. And when you're in, like, a room with, like, 3 different enemies, you can't really lock on to who you want. It just sort of locks on to the closest enemy next to you. So you're going to have to get used to that as well. Of course, you can always just not lock on and just try and face the direction of them, which is, I guess, the closest thing we'll get to manual aiming. And, you know, it's always a valid strategy to just strafe and shoot and not lock onto things, because at least you know dead center, wherever Mega Man is strafing, that's where he's going to be shooting. So, you also got a dodge roll. You have to push either left or right on the control pad and push the X button, which is the jump button, because Mega Man does have a jump button. A lot of people compare the Legend series, I guess, to The Legend of Zelda, simply because it's 3D, it had the Z targeting thing, even before Legend of Zelda, really. And you go into dungeons, you find treasures. It just sort of, it's like if they took Mega Man, the 2D platformer that we all know and love, and decided to add story and characters and towns and buying items and all that jazz. So a lot of people consider it very Zelda-like. It's very unique and very different from every other Mega Man franchise, you know? Because most of them are just 2D shooters, 2D action platformers. And then there's Battle Network, which is sort of an RPG-type game, and Star Force as well. But this was a pretty unique experiment back in the day, and it's certainly a much better game than Mega Man X7, which did try to be a 3D Mega Man game, and came much later, obviously. But this is much better than Mega Man X7, I will say that. This game was designed with the mentality that you are playing a 3D Mega Man, you know? They didn't just take the 2D game and try to make it 3D in one of the most awkward, slow, badly level-designed kind of games. But I've done a playthrough of X7, you should check it out. Or don't, I don't care. So right now we're in the prologue, and I've been kind of covering just the controls right now because there's so much to cover with Mega Man Legends, but the prologue area is very simple. The enemies here are not a big deal, and now we're coming up to the boss of the prologue area. So we're gonna take out this guy. Why not?
Are you alright? Can you hear me?
So as I said, you can lock onto people with the R2 button, or it's better to just strafe and shoot at them. And this is the boss of the opening area. He's going to come at you, he's going to slam his big club and cause explosions, and you can just continuously strafe all around the guy the entire fight, and he will never catch up to you. Or you can do what I'm doing and just go left and then go right every time he swings, and you know. It's the intro boss. You really shouldn't have a problem with this guy.
Look at that sky. Well, that's a happy sight after being underground for so long. I wonder where Roar went. No way. Back for more? See ya!
Hold on! We're taking off!
Roger!
Alrighty, folks, so that's part one. It went by really quickly for me. If you actually wait at the title screen a little bit longer, you actually get a cutscene that doesn't play when you're actually playing through the whole entire game. So I figured I would wait at the title screen and show off this extra scene that a lot of people might miss. It's an introduction to the Bond family, who are the villains of the game, and their cute little Servbot minions, who we also saw on the title screen. I'm very excited for this series, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you stick with this one. Mega Man Legends is fantastic. See you in part 2.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. All right, listen up. Drop everything and give me your undivided attention. In about an hour, we'll be arriving at our destination, Catalox Island. Double check your equipment readings and make sure everything's in working order. I want another flawless operation, same as the last one. I swear this treasure will be ours or my name's not Bond. Let's do it!